have a duty to inform the people that there's been a violation, exactly what it is.
The questions about an East Texas city's water problems have exploded on social media, and now Erin Brockovich is getting involved. She was surrounded by flames and had time to jump. This woman's harrowing escape from an arson.
Thieves break out heavy equipment to pull off this pre-dawn heist outside an East Texas bank. And hit hard again. The disaster declaration for this town after dangerous winds.
Caring, committed, proud of East Texas. You're watching KLTV 7 News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Controversy over a water violation has many questioning if Tyler's water is safe to drink.
Yeah, the warning was quietly sent out to customers with their bills last month and has gotten some high-profile attention from well-known consumer advocate Erin Brockovich. The KLTV 7 Investigates team has been looking into this since the violation was announced, and our Julia Janae joins us now. Julia, you spoke with Brockovich today, and she had some strong words for the city of Tyler.
That's right, Joe. The outspoken consumer advocate took to Facebook after hearing from, she says, hundreds of Tyler Water Utilities customers who say over the past few months they've noticed a change coming from their faucets. Water officials acknowledge the change, but they tell me again today that the city's water is still safe to drink. In this Facebook post, consumer advocate Erin Brockovich tells Tyler residents they are being lied to about a recent violation by the city's water utility. In the post, Brockovich says the violation is due to a recent chlorine burnout performed by the city. The city doesn't dispute the burnout, but says the higher readings appeared before that was ever performed.
I think that if you go back to the Facebook page, it spoke to the fact that the free chlorine conversion we did in August, September timeframe was the root cause of this problem, and that's not correct. This violation was measured in May of 2015, approximately 3 or 4 months before we did the free chlorine conversion.
Brockovich said she has gotten hundreds of calls and emails from concerned Tyler residents about changes in their water.
They know enough to know that something's gone wrong with the water, and they don't always know who to call.
Meanwhile, at the city,
We haven't been getting a lot of direct inquiries into our office. In fact, my office has had a couple of citizen contacts, I believe, maybe 3.
the city says this particular kind of testing of the water is performed by the state, and they alerted their customers after they were made aware of the violation in mid-October. This is the violation the city received, dated October 1st. The city stamped it received on October 12th.
We followed the established protocol, the TCEQ outlines for issuing notification to our customers.
Brockovich says any level over the TCEQ standard is unacceptable.
They just kind of go across this broad idea of what the standard should or shouldn't be, and if they exceed it by a little, they think it's no big deal.
Whether it be from the state or the city, Brockovich says the public needs to know sooner about elevated levels.
They have a duty to inform the people that there's been a violation, exactly what it is, and stop telling them after the fact.
Now, Tyler Water Utilities, which serves nearly 200,000 customers, including the city of White House, says they expect the levels to remain elevated because the rolling averages take into account levels for the past year. So even if those levels have subsided, TCEQ still shows Tyler as not in compliance and that it may stay that way for several more months.
Thank you, Julie. We know you guys are going to stay on top of this. Coming up tonight at 10, we hear from concerned residents who tell us they are not taking any chances with the water and avoiding the water they pay for. That's tonight on KLTV 7 News at 10. We've also posted online a copy of the violation that the water company received from the state and the notice that was sent to the public. To read those, just go to KLTV.com, scroll down our homepage, click on the big red box, and there you will find the link.
We're learning new details about the arrest of a former private school volleyball coach. 61-year-old Ricky Clements was arrested Thursday on a charge of enticing a child. According to the arrest affidavit, he exchanged several personal text messages with the student at the Brook Hill School in Woodard. Clements had been ordered by school administration to not initiate contact with that student. He is now out of jail on bond and is no longer employed at Brook Hill. We have a follow-up for you on a person arrested after an early Sunday morning apartment fire in Lindale. 26-year-old Tiffany Collins, a resident of that complex, is still in jail tonight. According to the arrest warrant, Collins told fire marshals that she set a fire in apartment 32 but would not say how she did it. She is charged with felony arson of a habitation and assault on a public servant. Today, fire marshals were out combing through the fire with other agencies looking for some answers.
We're looking at everything in that room, in that top floor up there, electrical, any kind of ignition source. We're just looking at anything that we may, help with our investigation.
Right now, bond for Tiffany Collins has been set at a combined $800,000. Everyone made it out of that apartment building safely with only one injury.
Tracy Smith lived right next to where the fire is said to have been started. She broke her ankle after jumping out of a second-story window to escape the fire. After that, she crawled onto the sidewalk to get help and warn others. She told us today that it all happened so quickly that she had to react, not only for herself, but for the others in that building.
When I was sitting on the sidewalk, it had already went through my front door and was into my living room already. I woke up for a reason or I wouldn't be here, and neither would anybody else.
Tracy says she broke her ankle in 3 different places. Her family tells us she will possibly have surgery tomorrow. 3 people caught on surveillance cameras are wanted in connection to several forgeries. Take a look at this. Investigators with Tyler Police and the Harrison County Sheriff's Department say the 3 people in these pictures made purchases with stolen checks at Walmarts in Mount Pleasant, Center, Jacksonville, Tyler, and in Harrison County. Investigators believe the 3 took checks out of people's mailboxes over the past few months. Witnesses say the suspects left a store in a silver 4-door Toyota pickup.
Palestine police are still looking for suspects involved in a theft of an ATM by way of a forklift. That ATM was taken from the Prosperity Bank just north of downtown Palestine around 6 in the morning Saturday. The bank is currently reviewing surveillance footage. Palestine police are asking if you have any information about this theft to please contact their office. East Texas has gone from drought conditions to deluge.
Almost overnight, and now one East Texas county is declaring a disaster. That's next on KLTV 7, your East Texas news leader.
And the good news for the next couple of days, the weather will be quiet here in East Texas, but it will be very, very humid. Fog in the morning, maybe some storminess back into the area as we get into Thursday night into Friday as another front moves in. We'll give you all those details in just a few minutes, but first, here's our Grant Flannery Neighborhood WeatherNet stop at Yantis School in Yantis. We're at 66 degrees after a high today of only 69. We'll talk more in a few minutes, folks, about the next 7 days. Just a few minutes. Stick around.
Storm Tracker 7 weather is sponsored by East Texas Copy Systems. We do IT better. Not a copy, the original since 1945.
It's dark outside. Joe hates it. Anissa? Anissa hates it. I'm not a big fan of it. I like it getting lighter in the morning better. But
you hate it too.
I do. So let's go outside and if you're not outside and you're thinking, wait a minute, is this the 10 o'clock news? Nope, it's not. It's the 6 o'clock news. And it's dark out. You guys just threw me under the bus, didn't you? I appreciate that very much. But, I guess to each his own. Storm Tracker Live Doppler radar, quiet. We're not seeing anything out there at this point. I don't think we'll see anything tomorrow. I don't think we'll see anything on Wednesday. Thursday, though, that changes. Temperatures, 68, Tyler, 66 Longview, also in the Lufkin area, 64 in Nacogdoches. So we're slowly starting to cool down, but the humidities out there, folks, are really high. We have many in the, well, look at that, in Groveton now at 91%, 95 in Woodville, 97 in Hemphill, also being reported in Center. Jefferson, 95%, 94. What I'm saying is watch out for fog to start forming here during the overnight hours, and some of that fog could be very, very dense. Well, Dave Jones at Holly Lake Ranch, he has 65 degrees. He did not get 12.8 inches of rain today, but he had that during the month of October, and folks, that is about almost 4 times what we normally should get for this time of year. But, we were in a drought. It just seems like yesterday or day before yesterday, and now we're just getting too much. Seems like mid-60s, the average temperature across East Texas right now. Precision cast will keep cloud cover, certainly very low cloud cover across the area. Tomorrow, we could see some breaks in that overcast, maybe a ray or two of sunshine here or there, not expecting any rain. Wednesday morning again, clouds right back up again. Boy, the Gulf of Mexico is just unloading moisture here in East Texas. Maybe an afternoon ray or two of sunshine. And then we start on Thursday seeing the rain developing out to the west. We might have a few showers early, but we're going to have a front move through very early on Friday morning. That could bring some very strong storms to parts of East Texas. Right now, Storm Prediction Center not saying much about it, but we're going to keep our eye on it for you. In the morning, though, when you wake, fog, 59. By lunchtime, we're hoping for a ray or two of sunshine by noon. By 3 o'clock, mid-70s, but don't get real excited about the sunshine tomorrow. There is a chance that we could see a few rays, maybe a little better chance on Wednesday, but then Thursday we increase the chances for rain to a 60% probability late afternoon and through the evening hours. And before we get to your Storm Tracker 7-day forecast, this may surprise some of you, but there are 52, that's all we've got left, shopping days until Christmas. Here is your Storm Tracker 7-day forecast. At front early on Friday morning could bring some strong storms to East Texas, especially early. I even think by the time the football games get going, we may continue to have some rain around. That may even continue into Saturday. Doesn't look like a lot on Saturday. Sunday, not bad, but notice on Monday, though, those morning lows getting down into the 40s, so getting a little cooler behind this second front. All right, let's go ahead and give away a Storm Tracker 7 Thunder Call phone to Stacy Sanchez of Van. Stacy, congratulations. If you'd like to do the same, you can just go to KLTV.com, click on Win Stuff, look for the Thunder Call link, and please sign yourselves up.
You know, the one good thing about this time change is that me and my kids can get out in our fields in the morning and we can harvest a lot earlier.
He's a smart aleck, just in case you haven't figured it out.
This guy in manual labor, doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Trust me. He's in some kind of dreamland.
Stop the madness. Thank you,
hilarious.
Mark. A disaster declaration has been issued in parts of East Texas hit hardest by this weekend's rain and storms.
KLTV 7's Caroline Manning was in Jasper County today where straight line winds battered already storm-weary residents.
From intense rain and flooding in the spring to drought and wildfires in the summer and back to heavy storms in the fall, it's safe to say Jasper County.
We've gone through a roller coaster ride.
And this past weekend, Jasper County once again was hit hard by Mother Nature, especially the Kirbyville area.
I live just a little bit south of it, and the sky began to get that familiar kind of odd color, kind of greenish color, and then the wind really started getting crazy.
According to the National Weather Service, the weekend's weather event is being called straight line winds, but it certainly left tornado-like damage.
Several homes had some damage on their roofs. A lot of barns were literally just destroyed.
Several homes in the area also had flooding and multiple roads were shut down because they were impassable. The damage was enough for Judge Allen to issue a disaster declaration, separate from the one already in existence due to the spring's flooding and summer's drought. This declaration will help pay back the costs the county incurred this weekend.
But more importantly, it also opens up the door for some of our people to maybe get assistance also. Something can be able to be eligible for SBA loans, be eligible for any kind of grants that's out there through the USDA or something like that.
Jasper County is hoping for some drier weather, but should another disaster occur,
we work through it every time. We try to protect our people, protect their property, work through each event, and back up, wait for the next one and do it again.
Caroline Manning, KLTV 7 News.
That disaster declaration will run through this Saturday. Tonight, a saint is in East Texas.
The big event for this church next on KLTV 7, your East Texas news leader.
Thunder Call is sponsored by Ultra Federal Credit Union.
An update now. Doctors say a Texas police chief is expected to recover from a gunshot. Marlin Police Chief Terrell Allen was critically wounded while he was working off-duty security at a nightclub near Waco. Investigators say the chief was shot in the face, shattering his jaw. The accused shooter, 24-year-old Derek Wayne Gamble, is charged with assault on a peace officer. The Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception in Tyler was chosen to host the remains of St. Maria Goretti today. She is the youngest saint in the Catholic Church.
People were able to see the remains starting this morning. It's all part of the U.S. tour the Catholic Church is calling the Pilgrimage of Mercy. This is the first time her remains have been in the U.S. She was born in 1890 in Italy and killed at the age of 11 in an attempted rape. The Catholic Church considers her the patroness of purity and also looked to her as an example of forgiveness because she was able to forgive her killer before she died.
This year coming up, our Holy Father has asked it to be a year of mercy. And so for us, at least for our diocese, it's a wonderful way to begin that year of mercy by having these major relics of a saint who very much was about mercy, giving mercy to someone who really caused harm to her as a young lady.
We're asking Maria Grady to intercede on our behalf so that we can be pure in our families, that we can be pure in ourselves and our hearts, and that we can forgive.
The public will be able to go and view the remains until 1 a.m. There will also be a mass at the Cathedral of Immaculate Conception tonight at 7 o'clock. For the second time in 3 games, the Cowboys failed to score a touchdown. The story's coming up.
Plus, Tyler Lee faces a must-win this week and needs some help. We break down their playoff chances next on KLTV 7, your East Texas news leader.
As we enter the final week of the regular season in high school football, several playoff spots around East Texas are yet to be determined, and that's the case in 11-6A. Despite losing to Rockwall this past Saturday, Tyler Lee's playoff hopes are still very much alive. First things first, the Red Raiders must beat Garland Naaman Forest at Rose Stadium on Thursday night. That will get Lee to 4-3 in league play. The simple scenario is this: a Lee win combined with Rockwall knocking off Garland and Saxe defeating Rowlett means the Red Raiders would get that 4th and final spot. But it's more complicated. As you look at the standings right there, if Rockwall beats Garland and Rowlett knocks off Saxe, then you have a 3-way tie at 4-3 between Lee, Garland, and Saxe. That's 3 teams for just 2 playoff spots. Lee head coach Terrell is waiting on the UIL to see how that would be handled, but his team must first defeat Naaman Forest, which has not won a game all year.
If you just think they're going to come over here and just lay down, you're going to be confused and you're going to have a running of your senior night and your playoff hopes are gone, so they better not take them lightly. You'd like to see those guys get rewarded, the kids get rewarded, these seniors get rewarded with getting to play some more football, and I think they deserve it. Anytime you don't get in, it don't matter where you are and what your record is. If you don't get in the playoffs, it's a pretty depressing time of year to be sitting around the house doing honeydews when you could actually be working and avoiding that.
All right, first again, Lee must win. The Cowboys suffered their 5th straight loss on Sunday, and it's in large part due to a lack of offense. It was the second game in the past 3 weeks Dallas has not scored a touchdown. In fact, they've only scored 8 touchdowns in the past 5 games, and again, all those are losses. The return of Des Bryant may have helped emotionally, but the Lufkin native only had 2 catches on the day. Quarterback Matt Castle only had 97 passing yards, and that was the lowest by a quarterback to start and finish a game for the Cowboys in 12 years. That's not good. Neither is this. Dallas had a season low in total yards as well against the Seahawks.
They've done a good job through the years preventing teams from making big plays and really forcing you to drive it and be consistent over the course of a drive. And obviously we didn't do a good enough job of that throughout the ball game, particularly when we got down in the red zone to be able to cash in on a couple of those opportunities. Was disappointing we weren't able to accomplish that.
A little bit of light there. Romo will practice on Wednesday. He'll start throwing the ball around. Again, he can't return until November 22nd against the Dolphins. But
so that's 3 games from now?
3 games.
Okay.
Still got 3 more to go.
The light is the Giants lost yesterday.
That's true.
So
yeah.
It's like
the NFC East is not getting away no matter what. So it just keep it close. Keep it.
I still believe.
You still do?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Stay right here for KLTV 7 News at 10.
Make sure you join us at 10 o'clock. We look forward to it. In the meantime, KLTV.com.
You don't believe, do you?
Let the news follow you. From exclusive web content to text and email alerts, get your news wherever you are. From news and weather to high school football or even great cooking recipes, download our family of apps today.
A school district in Washington State has a football coach that has a controversial post-game tradition. Coach Joe Kennedy, a veteran of Desert Storm and Desert Shield, has a tradition he's been partaking in for years. He prays at midfield after each game. Now some football players started joining him voluntarily in the center of the field, and the practice caught the eyes of the school district, which sent a letter to the coach asking him to end the prayer tradition or face termination. The district was afraid that the coach's prayer action would open the district up to a lawsuit. Well, someone in the district needs to grow a backbone or at least have a little common sense. The fear of a fight or the fear of offending has wiped our schools clean of any acknowledgement of a creator. We've neutered school leaders and teachers and administrators to the point that schools are void of character and moral training, let alone any spiritual guidance. And it's showing up in our children's behavior and development. The action of a coach praying at midfield after a game is not hurting anyone. Anyone can choose to join that action, and anyone can choose to ignore it and walk away. It's that simple. Now, the Congressional Prayer Caucus is even attempting to intervene by protesting the district's warning to the coach. But we need more coaches like Coach Kennedy that are not afraid of expressing their beliefs in a way that others can embrace or move on. And that will make for a better East Texas.